exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Let's go into the night with Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jacksonville, the heart of the NFL, Sunday, 1 o'clock. No place I'd rather be, right here in Duval. Your Jaguars. They are a 3.5-point favorite over Carolina. The total is 46 and a hook. Toe meets leather at 1, and we'll have it for you right here on both of our radio stations, 92.5 FM. Glad to be with you tonight. You know, I did an interview today in Carolina, and I was totally shocked by what I was told. I had to ask him again to please repeat. But earlier today, while doing the interview, I was told the last 2 times, or the only 2 times, that Jacksonville has opened up the season with Carolina, the Panthers went on to the Super Bowl. I almost fell out of my chair. I was like, hold on. And they're like, oh, yeah. There's 3 things that have happened. Carolina opens up with Jacksonville. Carolina goes to the Super Bowl. It also comes after Ohio State has won a national title, and J-Lo just went through a divorce. So there you go. They say everything does happen in 3s, and you learn something daily. We love to learn things. I mean, there's not any way. I mean, as shocked as I was by Florida State's performance on Saturday, I was equally shocked being told that Carolina has made it to the Super Bowl twice, and they did so against, only 4 teams haven't been. We know that. 2 long existing teams, which, frankly, I can't ever see getting there in our lifetime, in Cleveland and Detroit. Detroit's made some drastic changes, and certainly they're considered a top 10 team, maybe even a top 5 team. I really don't do power rankings, but you may. We saw what happened to them a year ago in the playoffs. And then you have in the AFC South, you have the Jags, and you have the Houston Texans. I think there's 9 teams who haven't won a Super Bowl, maybe 10, and, of course, 4 who have never been. All right, good to have you with us. We are loaded and ready to go all week long. I mean, this is where it's at. You can feel the temperature beginning to drop just a little bit. I mean, how comfortable is it right here in Jacksonville? Absolutely sensational. Liam Cohen, 2-0 last year in Tampa Bay against Carolina. A battle, as we know, against Dave Canellis. He gets ready for year 2. And Canellis, of course, was in Tampa prior to Liam Cohen. Couple of offensive minds, and you go to week 13, it was a thriller in overtime. It was Tampa Bay 26-23 over the Panthers. And then in week 17, it was a rout, 48-14 was the difference there, favoring Tampa Bay. So Liam Cohen knows a whole heck of a lot about Carolina, and that's obviously a good thing. Dave Canellis a year ago knew a whole heck of a lot about Tampa Bay, and he was on the losing side of both of those efforts. Hey, it was an awful year for Bryce Young. He was benched in week 2. He sat on the pine for about a month and a half. Then it was week 8. They called him back, and he improved, and he did so mightily. You look at his last 3 weeks, 10 touchdowns, no turnovers. All right, that's 10 total touchdowns, passing and rushing. He had the 3rd best QBR from week 16 through 18. So they're high on Bryce Young right now. And, I still think he leaves a lot to be desired. And obviously they're without some weapons. When you look at the injury to Jalen Coker, all of a sudden it's going to be Hunter Renfrow, who's going to be absolutely involved with this offense. And we're going to get an opportunity to see an enormous wide receiver. A good 6'5", 6'5", and Tet McMillan. NFL draft fans, we talked about McMillan throughout. If you were to go back, and Mason Graham would be one, right? But if you were to look at, the 3 to 4 guys that were really prominently mentioned that Jacksonville was going to take in the draft, McMillan was one of those guys. And, as we just said with Frank, or I said with Frank and Hayes, that offensive line does return. That is good news. It is a much improved offensive line, albeit they are nicked up right now. Ikem Ekwonu is, I don't know why it's so hard for me to say that name. Ikem Ekwonu, with his appendix now, was on the side today. It's been 11 days since he had an appendectomy. And that is troublesome. That's very painful. I had my appendix out. Granted, I was like 8 at the time. So I think when you're 8, everything could perhaps be considered painful. He's a lot tougher than I was, but it was still brutal getting out of there. And I'm telling you, trying to walk both prior to it and after it was a tremendous amount of discomfort. So, the tone I got today by doing that interview in Carolina is that he's not going to play. All right. I wouldn't say that with 100% certainty. This is coming from Ryan Bailey, who I did the interview for on WFNZ in Charlotte. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put him on tomorrow night and get the very latest so we can learn more about the Carolina Panthers. Left guard Damian Lewis, a shoulder, and right guard Robert Hunt, a foot, both limited today on that offensive line of scrimmage. We know that the Jaguars last year did a nice job off the edge, but they were last in the NFL when it came to the pass rush win rate. And primarily that was because they got absolutely nothing from their interior defensive line in 2024. How much will things change in just a couple of days? The Jaguars injury report is exactly what diehard Jaguar fans figured it would be. Buster Brown didn't work. Now we know officially it's an ankle. We knew it was lower body. Now we can say officially it's an ankle. With Wyatt Milam, the rookie, it is a knee. Okay? And he did not practice. Cole Van Lanen, one of our final opportunities to go out to the Miller Electric Center and watch the Jaguars practice. We noticed that he did return, and he started to do some drills, mostly working, individually, but it's a shoulder for Van Lanen, and he is limited. I think, it's going to be an interesting decision to see what the Jaguars do with their 9 offensive linemen coming up game day this Sunday. Van Lanen's an important one. Remember, they moved Fred Johnson. What does that mean they're going to do if Milam can't play? Odega's a guy that can move all over the place on that offensive line. So, he's a staple there, and they're set in the interior with Monheim, but, that becomes a big question, in my opinion. You got to have at least 8 healthy. So will Cole Van Lanen be on the roster despite a shoulder? I'm going to go on and say that I think he will, and they just, hope that they do not have to use him. So that is going to be the case coming up here on Sunday. Speaking of coming up here on Sunday, Fox has the game. It's Chris Myers. And you're no good, right? Chris Myers, way back when. Mark Schlereth is stink. And he's the color analyst. He totally popped off on Jacksonville a week ago. I don't know if you saw it because it came in right around the holiday. But let me read it to you. It's pretty disturbing, in my opinion. As a matter of fact, it would totally fire me up if I was a Jaguars fan in attendance at Everbank Sunday at 1. Here's what Mark Schlereth said about America's team. This, of course, being the Dallas Cowboys. This came on the heels of the Micah Parsons trade to Green Bay. Quote, Dallas, they are the Jacksonville Jaguars with better marketing. End of quote. That's straight from Stink. That's his name, Stink. I mean, imagine growing up being a baby and you got a mama and daddy and you're like, we're going to name our son Stink. That's Schlereth. And I've always been under the impression, I've done a lot of radio interviews with Mark Schlereth over the year. He's a really good guy. I didn't think he had this type of venom in him. But again, here's just another example of the lazy media. When push comes to shove and you need a punchline, insert Jacksonville. Very disappointed by Mark Schlereth. I got to be honest with you. I've always considered him a good guy. I disagree with that. Marketing here is outstanding. The PR here is outstanding. The fan base is outstanding. Do a little bit of research. Look at the geography, look at the attendance, and make some comparisons then. That's why they're redoing the stadium. We know that. And they're going to have less seats in 3 years when they get back from Orlando. But, you know, I'm not telling you to do or say anything. I mentioned this last week about Joe Tessitore going back to God's country. And, you know, all Florida State fans, they rolled out the garnet carpet for Joe Tessitore. You know, and again, I would never advocate doing anything, certainly not physically. I think you're well in your right to voice your opinion. But remember, after Tessitore and his agenda last year or 2 years ago, just how incredibly pathetic that was by pumping up Texas, by pumping up Alabama, by calling for the Florida State snub, the Biletnikoff Award is in Tallahassee, okay? And 99.9% of the people there live in Tallahassee. They don't fly in from Oregon. They don't fly in from Portland, Maine to come to Tallahassee for the Biletnikoff Award. They're based in Tallahassee. And what did they do? They played Kenny Rogers, coward of the county. They turned the other cheek, brought this guy in a couple of weeks after that bogus call. Florida State fans did the same thing last week with Tessitore. Rolled out the garnet carpet. That's fine. Again, we don't want violence, right? Violence sucks. Days of fighting are gone. But I think you're allowed to say something. I mean, you can type it, right? You can put it on Twitter. You can put it. Very rarely do you say something. And it's the same thing here now with Mark Schlereth, okay? Never want to see any type of issue. But I think a lot of you out there were not aware of what he said. Maybe you should give him an earful. Just saying. All right, opening comments brought to you by Shmunez Vision. You need good eyes, whether it's locating Tessitore, Schlereth, or anyone else. You need to be able to see what is going on around you. And at Shmunez Vision, they've been doing it now for a number of years. How about 2020 for the rest of your life? Imagine what it would be like with laser eye surgery. When you talk about Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, and Dr. John Hunt, that's more than 37 years worth of experience when it comes to surgery. So make yourself an appointment today. The kids are back in school. Maybe they're having trouble seeing the chalkboard. Okay. Do they even use a chalkboard anymore? Maybe they're having trouble seeing, the laptop. Ask them, how are your eyes? Make an appointment today. Go to Shmunez Vision. You can also go to Instagram and go to Shmunez Vision as well. All right. Philly Godfather's 20 minutes away. That is coming up. John Oehser at 7 o'clock. In the meantime, 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, let's welcome those watching on YouTube tonight. 1010XL into the night.
Make Monday an extension of the weekend by talking football all day.
Oh, you're good.
We'll take apart the top games, key plays, and controversial calls from the weekend. Post-game Monday, served by Dandy Foods on 1010XL.
Lee Bryce. What you know about that tour? Saturday, September 13th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. With special guests Ashley Cook and Lewis Bryce. Award-winning country sensation Lee Bryce. On sale now at AXS.com. Don't miss Lee Bryce Live.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I've been telling you about my daughter's journey with Awaken 180 as she tries to lose a little weight. In fact, last week you heard from Amber herself. Well, let me give you an update. She's been in it just a little over 2 months. Amber has lost 51 pounds. That's a real number. I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it happen. She has lost 51 pounds. And here's why. Awaken 180 is not a diet. It's a lifestyle change that is sustainable, and she has figured that out. She loves the journey. She loves the new recipes. She loves that she fits into her old clothes and she sleeps better and has more energy, and it is really, really working. She's proud, and man, am I proud of her. If you want to start your transformation, you can do the same thing. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. My daughter's lost 50 pounds, and she's so excited about it. You can as well. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
He caught the game winner from Danny Warfel and never looked back. Former Gator Chris Goring joins Dan and Jeff on The Drill Tuesday mornings at 7:20 on 1010XL. Protected by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Tough to believe the NFL begins tomorrow night. Dallas. Mark Schlereth says they're just like Jacksonville with better marketing. Take a shot at the people who market here in Duval. They do a really nice job. I'm convinced, but that's stink. And again, he'll be here. Someone's telling me he's still bitter because of 96. Maybe. That was an unbelievable day out in Denver. You know, they got a little bit of payback maybe in the playoffs in 97. At least, man, I'll never forget that game. Our colleague, Leon Cersei. Did you ever talk about that? Oh, that's, I know you do Jags today, not prime time. I think I asked him about it, you know, these 6 months I worked, 8 months I worked with Leon when it was midday chalk before that thing just exploded. That was the deal in Denver where can I say it? 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 Leon went after someone on the sideline. Man, it was heated. But that was in 97. How you doing, Dylan Denmark?
I'm excellent. It's we have football every day, tomorrow until Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It's we have a rare 2 days off, and the NFL is going to be here. A bad slate of college football games, but I'm not going to complain about it. You know, we have one good game, and Florida's playing USF, and the NFL is here. So let's get it on.
I'm going to ask the Philly Godfather about Florida USF. All of a sudden, that's really caught my attention. I'll be honest. When the schedule came out, I looked right past it, as I'm sure most Gator fans did, because it's such a brutal in conference schedule. All of a sudden, South Florida showed up. They get 48 extra hours to get ready. And, I'm going to pick Florida, but we're talking about making money here for our listeners. So do you take the 17.5 or do you lay the 17.5 coming up on Saturday?
At 17, I'd take Florida minus 17.
Is that what it is now? A bit of money on Florida? Okay.
I saw it opened at 19.5, and then I saw it went to 18.5. I haven't seen it today. Yeah,
so that means money on Florida, but if it went down to 17 or whatever, then there would have been money on South Florida. It's again, as I said, I'm never going to bite the hand that feeds me. It's not a spectacular weekend in college football like we had last weekend, including Sunday night with Miami and Notre Dame, which to me was the best game of the weekend. But it's still a pretty entertaining one. Certainly that matchup there. And then, at night, what do you do about Michigan and Oklahoma? So we'll do that coming up with the Philly Godfather.
Yeah, I mean, like the SEC, another SEC Big Ten game. I know we talked about it before the show. Ohio State, Texas drew almost like 20 million people.
Nuts.
So you would think that the TV executives would look at that and go, hey, we need an SEC Big Ten challenge, at least, some kind of round robin. The two, the week or two, before the conference games start, because, I mean, those are ginormous numbers.
Yeah, I almost said, yeah, fine, just don't give us a Mississippi State, Illinois, or a Mississippi State, Indiana. And then you look what happened last year and where they're ranked right now. I think Illinois is like 10th, 11th in America.
Yeah, they're 11.
They're 11. Indiana, okay, they're at 23. But, those are basketball schools, and they're performing well right now. So I wouldn't mind that, but I think you have to be creative. Hopefully you get everyone to do it. You saying just one matchup, or get it to be cross where you have every team from the SEC playing a team from the Big Ten?
Yeah, like how it is in basketball.
Yeah.
Almost every team, one SEC play, one Big Ten team, and then rotate it,
Mm-hmm.
So Florida play Ohio State one year, then play Michigan the next year, whatever.
Yeah, I like it. All right, let's get to Trevor, okay? Because you can say what you want and you can think what you want, and that's what's great about this on the cusp of a brand new season. And if you were to identify problems from a year ago, it is very lengthy. But to me, there are two things that are far more important than anything else. Number one is fixing Trevor Lawrence. And when you do that, you have to take into consideration everything that has gone wrong for Trevor Lawrence. And I will say this, and I think the fan base, for the most part, the majority of you, more than the majority of you, maybe 85, 90, 95% of you, I mean, really, really, most of you, believe that the excuses are over. We have identified time and again all the problems, beginning with Urban. Terrible play calling, not running the football, not pass protecting, not just terrible play call. I mean, just so many different things, and obviously him being hurt. But it's the time now where enough is enough is enough is enough. He needs to take his football to the next level. That's the most important thing. That's 1A. 1B for me, something I've been yelling about here forever. That's the offensive line. They better be able to fix this offensive line. Trevor Lawrence today was asked about his confidence with this offensive line.
A lot of confidence. That group has done a great job just buying in. Obviously, we have some new guys. I think what they've brought to the room has been really big, just as far as seeing the guys come together. It's been cool, and getting to know some of those new guys better. But yeah, I think in training camp, I mean, the guys having to rotate in, it gives me even more confidence because, something could happen. You never know. God forbid anything happens to anyone. But I think seeing 7, 8, 9 guys play together and play pretty well gives you a lot of confidence. The quarterback, I'm sure, staff, offensive staff as well. But the 5 that are going to run out there on Sunday, I got all the faith in, and I know they got my back. I got their back, and that's one of the biggest things. But they're great players too, and I know they're going to get it done.
All right, there's your quarterback saying what you would expect him to say. Let's throw it out here right now as we begin the program. Confidence on this offensive line. Walker Little your left tackle. Injury prone. Got the bag. Ezra Cleveland. Great camp. Marked improvement. That's the word. Okay? Your confidence. Robert Hainsey. Back up in Tampa. Now a captain in Jacksonville. To me, this is scary. To me, this is petrifying. Okay? You took a guy who couldn't even start and put him in with veterans, Harrison, Little, and Cleveland, and he gets the captaincy as a brand new free agent. I totally see it with Jordan Lewis on the defense. I mean, that was obvious. He made a presence. Jarian Jones on. They talked about how they needed it, and he brought it, and he showed it. It's tougher with the offensive line. They don't hit. That's just the way it is today in practice. And I've interviewed Robert Hainsey a couple of times, and I think he's an A-plus human being. And, the flip side of that is forever we've been talking about the lack of leaders on offense. Really, who are your leaders? Well, Trevor got the captaincy, all right? And now you give it to Robert Hainsey. But it kind of makes sense, right? Are you going to give it to a running back? Are you going to give it to a wide receiver? Are you going to give it to a tight end? There's not leadership there. There's not. Now, there's a chance that you're going to have incredible players. Brian Thomas Jr., year 2. Travis Hunter, a rookie. Brenton Strange, an opportunity. But to me, that's scary. That it wasn't Anton Harrison, or it wasn't Walker Little, or it wasn't Ezra Cleveland. And someone say, who cares? This captain say, well, the players voted on it. And we don't know how that voting went. Liam Cohen did tell us last week that he had the data. He would sit down with his staff, and they would decide. So someone else could have been voted, and they overruled it. Just throwing that out there. Patrick McCarry, your starter at right guard. Anton Harrison, your starter at right tackle. I was one of those who believed for quite some time that it was going to be very difficult to knock Chuma Edoga out of that starting 5. I was wrong. He got nicked up, missed a little bit of time. And you look at the contract of McCarry and you look at the contract of Edoga, yeah, you play a guy like that. I'm not going to sit here before the start of the year and say that ego comes into play, that they identified this guy as one of their premier free agents, and you're not going to pay a guy that they got on a bargain deal like Edoga. Now, there could be changes that are forced based on play or the lack thereof. But I'm interested. What is your level of confidence on this offensive line? 641-1010, text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also comment on YouTube. Just go to 1010XL into the night. All right, tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. I hope none of you ever have to use him in this practice because I don't want to see anyone out there get injured. But it happens. It happens all the time. There was a major, I don't know if it was fatal or what, but it was an awful wreck on Phillips Highway on, I think it was Monday. Just brutal. Just awful. Car flipped and they, sent everyone on a detour. You have to be such a defensive driver nowadays because people don't pay attention and they're driving and they're looking at their cellular phone. And you may be on the opposite end of someone who is completely a careless driver, yet you're injured and you have broken bones and you can't afford hospital bills. Your car is totaled. You can't afford to get it fixed. Folks, these are the questions you ask Alexander Law Practice. You're never going to pay out of pocket. You make the phone call, you get an immediate call back. Then you talk about the details of your situation. You're going to get individualized care. You may have all these things paid for you by Alexander Law Practice, and then you'll settle up once you bring in what you deserve, which would be a large sum of money. You need to contact them today if this has happened to you or to someone you know. Alexander Law Practice. That's alexanderlawpractice.com, or again, a free call and free consultation, 400 6,600. The legend of the Philly Godfather. We got Florida, USF. We have Michigan, Oklahoma. We have tomorrow night's game between Dallas and Philadelphia. And we have a game Sunday at 1 o'clock right here in Duval. Carolina in town to take on the Jaguars.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacresporting.com.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, October 3rd through 5th at Timuquana Country Club. Catch the new community concert series on the 17th hole after play, featuring country artists Low Cash and Love and Theft. Public parking is free with complimentary tournament access for military, courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Get tickets now for the Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, starting at just $25 at Ticketmaster.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Calling all poker players. The Best Bet Summer Swing Series kicks off August 18th at Best Bet Orange Park with a $200 no-limit hold'em and a $100,000 guarantee. Next stop, Best Bet St. Augustine with a $150,000 guaranteed poker tournament. Then wrap it up Labor Day weekend in Jacksonville with a massive $300,000 guarantee. Play all three events and swing for big winnings. Get all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true. Quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Week 2 with the legend. He is the Philly Godfather who was recently added best-selling author. to his resume. And he joins us here in North Florida and South Georgia each and every Wednesday night at 6:33. Philly Godfather, how are you?
Thanks for having me on, Rick. Yeah, I appreciate the plug for the book. We're doing very well. We started a college tour. We're speaking at Rowan College on the 13th, and then we're speaking at Westchester University on the 17th. So, man, everything's going great, man.
So it's you and Charlie Kirk on the college tours.
I don't know about all that, but yeah.
All right, Philly Godfather, how did week one go for you? How were things?
I got a little banged up. Texas cost me some money, and, I was worried about that team early on. Archie, underperformed. Bad play calling by Sark. But as the game progressed, as I watched them get into the red zone, even though they didn't convert and they tried to push with a kid that weighs 122 pounds soaking wet, which didn't make any sense to me, I think as the season goes on, they're going to get better and better. And they still have the third or fourth best odds to win the whole thing. So I still feel comfortable with my Texas future. But it was a little disappointing. You lose some money. It's never a good thing.
Yep. No, it's not. But it's just amazing the way things are now. Really, all those top games, including Bama losing and Notre Dame losing and Clemson losing, it doesn't matter the way it used to. I mean, now the way the playoff structure's set, you can come back and win it all.
Yeah, look at Notre Dame last year. They lost to Northern Illinois second week of the season. They ended up in the championship game. So, yeah, as long as you get strong down the stretch, that's all.
All right, let's get right after it. USF, very promising on their opening day. Boise State, obviously a totally different football team now, but South Florida just whooped them. And if you're the Gators, man, I mean, you're looking at such a difficult schedule with going to LSU, going to Miami, then hosting Texas. What do you believe about this game here, Florida now against South Florida coming up Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely got to win with some style points, which isn't going to be easy to do because that South Florida team is gritty. I mean, it seems like they're always playing these top teams tough. Last year against Alabama, for example, this line opened up 19, down to 17.5, 18, depending on where you shop. The total set at 56 or 56.5. And this one ain't easy to handicap. I mean, it feels like a ton of points, right, after South Florida beats, Boise State team 34-7. But Boise State did kind of give them the game. They turned the ball over 3 times and helped the Bulls run away, with it after the first quarter. The Gators, on the other hand, they did their job. They won 55-0. But South Florida is always a tough out. Byron Brown, he's a dual threat quarterback that can drive you nuts if you let him. The big question for me is, can that South Florida offensive line slow down the Gators defensive line? And I don't think so. And I don't think USF's defense will be able to slow down Florida's offense with all their weapons. DJ Lagway, and just running the ball down people's throats. The only concern I have in taking Florida here below that key number of 17 is, do they take their foot off the pedal late in the game? I mean, they got LSU, Miami, Texas, and A&M on the horizon. So, do they back up, or do they try to just destroy this team? I haven't bet the game yet, but if the price dips below 17, I'll probably look to lay the favorite, and I'm not big on favorites, but this feels like a trap to me, giving me all these points with a gritty South Florida team that just blew out Boise State 34-7.
That's a fair point because of what's coming up. Even though their backup kid right here out of Jacksonville was outstanding in Tremble Jones last week, but it was really against people are complaining a total lack of competition as far as who they faced, and that's going to be better here with South Florida. I like your idea here if it's under 17. If not, maybe the wise move is to not do anything at all. All right, premier game of the weekend. True freshman quarterback, Michigan. We know about Mateer. He transferred over to OU, off to a really good start. Going to Norman, Oklahoma is always a difficult place to play.
Yeah, and Oklahoma's -5 at home. And Mateer right now is the odds-on favorite at one of the sharper offshore books to win the Heisman at +700. So his stock went up dramatically. This line on the game, though, it's been bouncing around from 5. It went down to 4.5. It went up to 6, and now it's back on that dead number with the Sooners laying 5 points. You look at the bet splits, about 70% of the action is on Michigan, but I think that changes as the week progresses. The total opened up 47.5. It's dropped down 1.5 down to 46. There's some real sharp money on the under here, and I really won't be surprised to see that total close even lower, maybe 45 or 44. I kind of lean the Sooners here at home to win a close game, but cover the numbers a different story. 5 points is a lot of points. Michigan can run the ball on offense behind a huge offensive line. They kind of wear you down. They take time off the clock. They had over 200 rushing yards last week versus New Mexico. And Oklahoma's defense did give up 117 rushing yards to Illinois State, which, if you're looking to back Oklahoma here, it might concern you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I like the under, and I like Michigan at +5, small, but I like the under for a bigger chunk.
All right, under in this matchup, Michigan +5 for a little bit less of some cash. Philly Godfather, how do our listeners get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can find me on X at Philly Godfather, and the website is thephillygodfather.com.
Right there where you live, brotherly love, or are they still calling it brotherly shove? Yeah, Philadelphia, your world champions. They'll host tomorrow night. It's tough to believe the NFL is here. Here comes Dallas with just a chaotic offseason and everything that happened, including trading Micah Parsons. The hook is interesting, though, if it remains at 7.5. Your thoughts on Philly playing host to Dallas?
Yeah, it's up to -8, Philly -8, and I've seen it as high as -9 offshore. So this number continues to climb. The total opened up at 46. It's up to 47.5 or 48, depending on who you use. But I still don't think that total is high enough, man. I went over 46.5 on the total for a nice little chunk. And as great as a defensive coach Vic Fangio is, and he did an amazing job last season. It's just hard to replace 8 or 9 veteran guys on your defense. I mean, C.J. Gardner-Johnson had 6 of the 13 interceptions last year for the Birds. He's gone. They lost Slay, Sweat, Williams, Rogers, Burks. I mean, the legendary Brandon Graham. And those guys, they were responsible for about 46% of the team's overall sack rate and 25% of the tackle production rate on defense. So it's hard to replace. He's going to have a young defense. It's going to take some time for them to gel, I think. And, on the Cowboys side, we all know what Micah Parsons meant to the Cowboys defense. And that defense was atrocious last season with them, so they might be even worse this year. So I love the over here. When it comes to the side, 2 weeks ago, I was kind of leading the Cowboys because I didn't think Landon Dickerson was playing for the Eagles, and now it looks like he's going to go. And Micah Parsons, obviously, is going for the Cowboys. But if the line gets to 10, I'll probably be looking to back the dog here, plus 10 points. I mean, Dak has owned the Eagles since he came into the league. He's beaten them 64% of the time. He has an astonishing 33-8 record against the NFC East, which just, that's wild. And his firepower this season is unreal. I mean, the 2 wide receivers, C.D. Lamb and George Pickens, they've combined for over 7,100 receiving yards since 2022. So Cowboys can stick around with that offense. If it gets to 10, I'll probably nibble some back on the Cowboys plus 10. If you want to bet a teaser on the game, plus 16 with the Cowboys and over 40.5, and a 7-point teaser probably win you some money as well.
Philly Godfather, let's wrap it with right here in Jacksonville. The 2 former Tampa Bay offensive coordinators, Liam Cohen in Jacksonville, Dave Canellis in Carolina, 2 former first-round picks, and Young and Lawrence. How do you see this matchup Sunday at 1 o'clock here in Duval?
Yeah, Jags originally opened up a 2.5-point favorite back on August 7th, and Sharp might jumped on them right away, -2.5, -3. Current numbers up to -3.5. Not much movement on the total yet in the market. It went from 46.5 up to 47. Another game that's a little tough to handicap for me because I really have no clue what to expect from this Panthers team this season. At first glance, you look back to last year, they went 5-12, and you don't expect them to, get much better. I mean, a little bit better, but not much better. But if you look at the games after Week 9 last year, they played some pretty good football. I mean, once they got healthy, Carolina won 4 of their last 9 games and lost some really close games to the Chiefs, Eagles, and Buccaneers in that time span, and they could have won all 3 games. I like the Jags here to win the game on the money line. I think Jacksonville also has a fair shot to win the AFC South at plus 300 if they can stay healthy and the ball bounces their way, unlike last year where they lost 9 games by 5 points or less and were ranked as the most unluckiest team in the league last season in luck ratio. But going back to this matchup, once the price moves through that key number of 3, it's hard for me to lay 3.5 on the favorite here. Jags do have the better QB, more overall talent, but the point spread, as always, is a great equalizer. Yeah. It's all about the price. I'd rather bet them on the money line than lay 3.5 for the Jags.
Money line probably going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of -180. All right, any futures you want to throw out there?
Yeah, you guys got a pen?
We do. Just give us a couple. Give us a couple.
All right. Bills plus 700 to win the Super Bowl. Bills minus 240 to win the AFC East. Bills over 11.5 wins. Jags over 6.5 and 7.5 wins. Steelers over 7.5 wins. And I also took a nibble on the Chargers at 30-1 to win the Super Bowl as well. And if you want to bet a strong teaser this week, Broncos -1 and Bills plus 8.5 and the 7 points.
When did you get the Jaguars at -6.5?
I laid a little bit of a vig on that.
Okay. There you go. All right. Hey, how can you get the book?
Yeah, you go to phillybooked.com. I'll send you an autographed copy. Might take a couple days. If you want to get it the next day, go to Amazon, and it's on Amazon.
And once again, Philly Godfather, how can our listeners get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can follow me on X at Philly Godfather, and the website is thephillygodfather.com.
Best of luck. Always a pleasure.
Good luck, guys.
There he goes, Philly Godfather. He got Jax. He put a little vig on it, he said, but plus 6.5 wins, man. That feels pretty good right now. 7.5 is, that's right there. What do you think this team is going to do? Win 8 games? Win 7 games? I know some out there think 9, maybe even a 10 to win the AFC South. Interesting. All right. Thank you to the Philly Godfather. We got much more to do. That'll include John Oehser. He'll join us at 7 o'clock.
1010XL is your home for play-by-play of Bishop Kenny football.
It's 2 teams without a loss, and something's got to give on the banks of the St. Johns. Turquoise Creek, Bishop Kenny, Friday at 7 on 92.5 FM.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's time for the Plumbing 411 from Superior Plumbing and Pipeline. Clogged drains happen when grease, soap, hair, and debris build up over time. Even tree roots can invade your pipes. All this leads to the annoying water pooling in your sink or tub. Superior Plumbing and Pipeline has the tools and know-how to clear stubborn clogs and keep them from coming back. Don't ignore a slow drain. It could lead to bigger problems. Make the superior choice when your drains are clogged and learn more at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 3rd, 1995, in their NFL debut, the Jacksonville Jaguars fought the Houston Oilers 10-3 with an attendance of 72,363.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Cancer Center offers on-site imaging and other diagnostic services. Early detection saves lives. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Frank Frangie telling you about Awaken 180. You know my daughter has done so well. I'm so proud of Amber. Can you believe she's lost 50 pounds in 2 months? And she's really proud of that. You can as well. Call 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Introducing the Jags Stack at Firehouse Subs. A sub so bold, we had to name it after the team that roars. Packed with protein and made to satisfy a football-sized appetite. It's stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, and roast beef. Topped with provolone, fresh veggies, and our new Duval drizzle. Order the new Jags Stack in the app right now. Available for limited time at participating Jacksonville Firehouse Subs restaurants. The hottest subs in Duval!
With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
What does AM and PM stand for in terms of the clock?
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
AM stands for anti-meridium, before midday, and PM stands for post-meridium, afternoon.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Ted McMillan, here he comes, getting a lot of attention. Not as much as Travis Hunter, but he is a big body. And remember, the Jaguars last year, they allowed 175 yards a game to wide receivers. All right? This game features two of the worst defenses last year in the NFL. Carolina was dead last in points allowed, 31.4 a game. Jacksonville came in at 29 overall, allowing 25.6. Carolina was worst in total yards allowed, run defense as far as yards allowed, and quarterback pressures. You know, we talked about the ESPN pass rush win rate that Jacksonville was worst in last year. Well, overall quarterback pressures, Carolina was dead last. They've added 6 new bodies to that defense. So they went out and made several moves, just like Jacksonville did. I mean, you replaced 3/4 of your secondary, and obviously everything they tried to do on offense with, 6 new offensive linemen. I guess they traded away Fred Johnson. 2 new backs, 2 new tight ends, 2 new wide receivers. Yeah. So no doubt about it. The offensive line, as I said, is back for Carolina. So this is an offense that averaged just over 20 points a game, 23rd in the NFL at 20.1. So not a good offense a season ago, but that's going to be fun. And, I would have loved to have seen Travis Hunter on McMillan. I mean, that would have been worth the price of admission right there. I was asked about every interview I've done this week has been the same question. How are they going to play Travis Hunter? And I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know if anyone knows the answer to that question. I think it's going to be very fluid throughout the course of the season. I'll ask John Oehser about this coming up. He's going to join us in 6 minutes. And, Liam Cohen said that injury wouldn't affect it. If you lose a wide receiver, more there. If you lose a DB, more there. But he also said it would be a fluid situation. I think you're well within your right to change your mind. And, my guess right now would be primarily offense and then getting certainly an opportunity defense. But I've been asked, and people are like, oh, he's going to play, 25, 30 plays a game. And I'm like, I don't see that. I'm guessing 15 on defense, maybe a dozen on D. How many defensive plays do you think he's going to play Sunday against Carolina?
I'd probably say 25.
Yeah. See, I'm lower than everyone else.
Okay. About 10?
Yeah. No, I'm going to say 12 to 15.
Okay.
And I'll settle on the 15, but I think that my guess would be that's lower than if you asked anyone else who covers the team in town, they would be more around your mark of 25. And, hey, the more he plays, the better it is. I want to see it. But I just think that after the upper body injury and this being a very long season, it could, it could dictate that. I don't know. I really don't. And that's why it's going to be fascinating. Will they give him a little bit less on offense now that they have Tim Patrick, who's still learning, this thing? And Parker Washington has been so consistent. Do they feel like they can take him out a little bit and have Washington there to replace him and use him on the defense? So it's going to be unlike anything we've ever experienced before in the NFL. And I'm sure they're going to have Travis Hunter, tracers, and they're going to be telling us, time and again how many plays he's actually had and his snap count and everything else that goes along with it. All right, let's get ready for John Oehser, and then we're going to get to you. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also get us on YouTube. Go to 1010XL Into the Night.
Gator fans are known to get rowdy.
Especially us.
Hicken and Prosser here.
Join us for a first-of-its-kind podcast, Swamp Session.
Live stream from Voodoo Brewing Company.
Right after every Gator football game on the social channels of 1010XL.
Driven by Atlantic Infinity.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? Topdressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit topdressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with topdressing.com.
Hayes Carline here. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise Free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter, and you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor climate-controlled showrooms. It's cool, comfortable, hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at atlanticinfinity.com.
He's not Pistol Pete, he's Pete Prisco.
Been on the wanted list almost 20 years.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Morgan Conley Roofing isn't just repairing roofs. He's building a legacy for generations to come. Born here, built here, staying here. MorganConleyRoofing.org. License number CCC 1333544.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Jacksonville is football season, and Duck Duck Rooter is proud to be on your home team. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we tackle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning problems with championship-level service. Keep an eye out for our custom Jaguar wrap plumbing vans rolling around town. They're hard to miss and always ready for the next play at your home or business. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, trust Duck Duck Rooter to keep you in the game. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
The playoff-bound Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are in full swing at the newly renovated VyStar Ballpark. Your home for affordable family fun. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game, and kids round the bases after Sunday games. Log on to jackshrimp.com for tickets and details. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
years. At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Lauren Brooks here. Tired of shaving and waxing? At Hello Smooth Med Spa, laser hair removal permanently reduces hair growth for smooth, stubble-free skin. It's life-changing. With over 400 5-star reviews, they're Jacksonville's trusted choice. Learn more at hellosmooth.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser. Oh No's. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jacksonville playing host to Carolinas coming up Sunday at 1 o'clock. All the pregame, in-game, postgame right here on both stations. John Oehser will be a big part of that. He is the senior writer at Jaguars.com. Johnny O, how are you?
Rick, how you doing, buddy? Week 1, 31st.
It's here, and I love it. All right, a historic number last year, 10 losses by 7 points or more. How much of that can you apply to this year with a totally new staff, 27, 28 new players? Does that figure still come into play, or do you rip up a year ago and in 4 days it's a totally new year?
You know, not much. You sort of hope it does because it means you were close, but I'm just always of the belief, Rick, that I get that was historic, but most games are decided late, and if you close them, you're good, and if you don't, you're bad. And they were bad last year because they couldn't close games. So I think you take a little bit in the sense, okay, it's not an overmatched roster. I think you feel like defensively they have to be a little better, and they have players in spots. This doesn't feel to me like 2013 or whenever it was that Caldwell and Bradley took over, where the roster, you'd be surprised if they could go out and compete. These guys can compete. They believe they can win. They have veterans who can make plays. The key to that stat last year was they didn't have guys who made big plays in big moments. I feel like they have more of those now, and they have more big playmakers. We'll see. To me, that's the $1 million question.
Yeah, all right, right. What you said there may be your answer, but let me follow up with this. Off-season camp, 3 preseason games, everything that you've witnessed, what are you most what do you believe is going to change most for the better on this football team?
Well, I don't necessarily think I can point to one like, okay, the offensive line is going to go from what it was to like the best in the league. What I think can happen that makes them better is I think they're going to be at least a little better in short yardage. If you're a little better in short yardage, how much better does that make you the last 2 seasons? I would say a lot. If you're a little better in short yardage, then your play action game works better, and you have really fast receivers and fast skill people. So I think just being a little better in short yardage gives you 4 or 5 more points a game because of the big play capability. If you see where I'm making that connection.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
If you're better there and you're, say, a half yard better against the run, then, again, you're that much better rushing the passer, and you go from 8 takeaways to 16. Well, I think those are a couple of places where you can point to and say, why shouldn't they be better? And if they're better there, then I think those are things that lead to real stuff, which is victory. So, yeah I think that's the path. Now, do they put egg on my face and give up 150 yards rushing against Carolina? I don't know. But I think they're better in those 2 areas.
All right. How about the other side as we get ready for game number 1? What is your biggest concern?
I don't know yet if we know what the run defense is because it's hard to quantify that in preseason. And I guess, I guess I would lump it all. They want to be – they talk today a lot about they believe they're a physical team. They didn't feel like a very physical team last year, and that's what Liam Cohen's objective has been. Well, you don't know that until you see it. It is all of this talk and all of these improvements, are they real or are they off-season talk, which you've had here before? Mm-hmm. I want to see a physical team, especially on the interior, defensive line, linebackers. Are they as stout as Anthony Campanile believes they need to be with the physicality, getting off block? Is that really who they are?
Yeah.
I think everyone wants to see it.
John Oehser is our guest, senior writer, Jaguars.com. Of course, Carolina in town. They'll take on Jacksonville Sunday at 1. I did an interview in Carolina this afternoon. I was told, John, that the last 2 times that Jacksonville and Carolina opened up the season, the Panthers went to the Super Bowl.
Well, is that yet? Okay. Yeah. They've been once, right? Or no, have they been twice?
Yeah.
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 That's right, 2015. I was drawing a blank on Cam Newton. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Well, goody for them, Rick.
I was shocked. I was absolutely floored when I was told that. I was like, wait a minute, we're talking about Carolina here. And yes, including wasn't the Super Bowl here against
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Was it here or was it Philly
all
here?
the way back to 99.
Yeah.
But I think they played week 3 in 99, if memory serves. And the Jaguars went up there and beat them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Travis Hunter, we're all going to watch. Do you think, I look at when he went down is really more of a precaution than anything. I don't know how significant that injury was with the upper body, but do you believe that changes anything here in week 1 in Carolina as far as his snap count?
Well, I don't necessarily. Let me make sure I answer it the right way. I don't think concern that will happen again. I don't think there's concern, we have to reduce his snaps because he can't hold up or because we saw something injury-wise. Now, does the fact that he wasn't on the field for 2 weeks during preseason and maybe not learning some packages that he might have otherwise learned, yeah, I think there might be some things that he's not a part of that he might have been. But I still think that he plays whenever they're in passing situations, be that third, with a third receiver on the field on offense and a third DB in, I think he's going to play an enormous role. So maybe the injury kept him out of some base looks offensively that they were getting ready to get to, but I don't think they're scared to play him. This is a generational guy that they want to be on the field as much as possible.
Bryce Young, an up-and-down year. He was benched in week 2. He returned in week 8. So when Liam Cohen got Carolina last year in Tampa Bay twice, it was in week 13, week 17. So, he's focused, obviously, on his offense against Carolina's defense, but he also got to see the other side of what Bryce Young can do. This guy improved big time. Week 16 through 18, he was 3rd in QBR in the NFL, and I know that that's what they're expecting here on Sunday, is that this is going to be the good Bryce Young, not the disappointing Bryce Young.
Yeah, it's obviously, we have seen this story so much with quarterbacks in Jacksonville, right? Where, like back when Blake had some big games, and then you came out the next year and you're like, oh, that's not really what he was, right? What Carolina obviously wants to see is that the improvement they saw last year was real and it can be sustained when games matter. I think that's the question for Bryce Young. I think it is. I've always kind of liked his decision-making. He's savvy and all that. I know the Jaguars are expecting that, and I think the key for them is they know that their DBs are going to have to defend 50-50 balls because Carolina clearly went out and said, we need big guys where Bryce Young can throw the ball to them and they can win. So I think there's a tremendous emphasis from what Liam Cohen has said. Hey, guys, you're going to have to win. I liked what Liam said today about it, where, hey, that room's going to have some pride on this. I think Liam likes challenging players in that regard, And I think that's where the challenge defensively is this week. Stop those 50-50 balls. You've got to make plays back there, guys.
Yeah. Last one for you. And, I think it's more rare nowadays when you follow a wide receiver from one side to another. And here we are talking about a rookie in McMillan, Ted McMillan, much like they're talking about a rookie out there in Travis Hunter. But do you think they stay true to, boundary corner, field corner on this rookie 6'5" wide receiver? Or do you see perhaps Tyson Campbell moving with him?
Yeah, I haven't really asked around about that, so I'm speculating. I think they really lean into zone because they want eyes on the quarterback. And I'm not sure that there's a huge belief right now that Tyson is dramatically better than Jordan Lewis. That's not a knock on Jordan. I mean, it's not as much of a knock on Tyson as Jordan Lewis and even Travis Hunter. They like all three corners a lot, and I don't know that they feel like they need to have Tyson Campbell chase. I mean, I think it's more about that. They believe they've got three guys, especially Hunter and Jordan Lewis, who can go get the ball when it's in the air.
Right.
So whatever they can do to make that happen, I think is where they're going to lean rather than following one guy or the other.
It's going to be exciting. It really is. I mean, there's some talent.
Yeah, it really
Carolina's got an opportunity here. They have They returned their offensive line. Obviously, Ekwonu is in doubt. We'll see after the appendectomy. And for Liam Cohen, looking at that defense, again, they have 6 new bodies there defensively. So this is going to be a chess match. It's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. John, always a pleasure. I'll see you at the Miller Electric Center over there tomorrow afternoon.
I'll be there, Rick. Thanks, buddy.
There he goes. John Oehser, senior writer, Jaguars.com. That is more and more rare in the NFL. You hear put your number one corner on your number one wide receiver. Well, what do we have in today's NFL? We have a tremendous amount of motion. We have a lot of movement. You saw it, I guess, in the preseason games. But if you're one of those that, the preseason, you don't spend a tremendous amount of time observing. It's just good to get with buddies and, snap off the cap of a bunch of beers and just get after it and talk about the season. That's great. But you're going to see movement with these wide receivers. I mean, it's not going to be set where you're going to have, let's just say for the conversation, you're going to have, Brian Thomas Jr. Split out. You're going to have Diami Brown split out. And you're going to have Travis Hunter in the slot. You may see that on first down. On second down, that could be totally inverted. That could change. As a matter of fact, didn't Daniel Griffiths tell us that last year Brian Thomas Jr. had the most touchdowns of any wide receiver in the slot?
I missed that.
I think he told us that.
I remember he said he had 90. He had less than 100 yards in the first quarter. I remember that stat.
Right. I'll have to ask Daniel again. We'll get him on here now once we're cranking up the regular season again. I may be wrong with that number, but the Jaguars didn't do a whole heck of a lot of that. They did it at times, and they also did it because they were injured. They had a lot of injuries. And again, you look at Parker Washington, you look at the size of Parker Washington at 5'10", and you would just assume, okay, he's a slot wide receiver, right? No. Guy plays every position. And he played every position last year. Now, he did it because of injury, not because Doug Peterson and Press Taylor were, mixing up everything as far as different guys. And certainly you're going to see a whole heck of a lot more motion as well. And you're going to see some short passes, behind the line of scrimmage, just finding ways to get the football to these skill position players. All right, let's get you involved with the show. Let's do that right here. 641-1010, best way for you to join us. We're also going to play for you a quick clip on Trevor now that he's had an opportunity to see this Carolina defense and what he thinks about the Panthers defense. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also get us on YouTube tonight. Go to 1010XL into the night.
1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Your grandfather was stronger at 50 than you are at 40. Want to know why? His testosterone was 30% higher than yours. That's not genetics. That's modern life killing your hormones. Stress, chemicals, sitting, it's all crushing your T levels. Male Excel reverses it. Prescription testosterone, thyroid optimization, personalized to you. Over 100,000 men are already winning again. Your turn. Try MaleExcel.com. Free assessment because you deserve it. Your family deserves it.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 3rd, 1995, in their NFL debut, the Jacksonville Jaguars fought the Houston Oilers 10-3 with an attendance of 72,363.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle & Son Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember the 2017 AFC Championship game when Miles Jack wasn't down? Do you know what else isn't down? Fences installed by Coyle & Sons. Their fences have been standing tall here in Jacksonville for nearly a century. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. CoyleJacks.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Yo, it's your boy E to the T here. And do you consider yourself a bourbon connoisseur? Well, at Twin Peaks, we're proud to offer exclusive and extensive collection of some incredibly rare bourbons, whiskeys, tequilas, and some. Plus, check out our barrel selects that are handpicked by our team and bottled just for you. Supply is limited, so come wet your whistle and check them out on Atlantic and Kernan to see what they're pouring up for you. Twin Peaks. Eat, drink, scenic views. Cheers. Come on, somebody.
Hey, Jacksonville, it's Dan Hicken with a game changer. I've tested the field, and Checkmate Coatings is my new go-to for durable, jaw-dropping floor coatings. Better play, better results.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coatings. We coat it all. Garages, pool decks, driveways, and patios. Be the envy of your neighbors.
Slam dunk your floors at CheckmateCoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Got a cracked windshield? Not only is it dangerous, but did you know it's also illegal? Call Baker Glass. Mack and his crew use the best auto glass in the market, and they accept most insurance. Plus, all new windshields come with a full warranty. From cars, to trucks, to RVs, you can count on Baker Glass to be fast and friendly. Just check out their Google reviews. Come see us at the shop on Casta Avenue, or we can come to you at your home or business.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Damn oak trees in my way. Don't drink and drive, people. Yeah. Uber. Taxi. Thumb. right? There's no more serial killers out there. Forensics and surveillance, it's impossible. Just give them the thumb. There's always people walking on Phillips Highway. I don't know where they're going, man. There's like no exits. You get a lot of hitchhikers out where you are?
I've seen 2, like out at Baldwin, maybe in the last 6 months.
Okay.
So pretty low number.
Wow. So there's far more ladies of the night out there than there are hitchhikers.
Yeah.
Interesting.
When there's when you go down I-10, you pass Hammond, there's just nothing but trees from there to Baldwin, pretty much, or Chafee. You'll see a couple, but not too many.
Yeah. I did text Daniel Griffiths during the break. He said yes. Brian Thomas Jr. had 7 touchdown receptions from the slot a year ago. That surprised me. That's a big number. And you're going to see much more movement this year with that wide receiver core. I don't think there's any question about that. All right, let's get to one more today from Trevor, and then I want to get to your questions. Trevor's view of Carolina's defense.
You trust what you see as far as scheme goes. But they can always do something different. It's like every defense now can do anything. It's like people do so many different things. And you don't want to think that way because you do have your plan and you want to play fast and let it rip. But you are aware that week 1, we all have the same tape. This defense coordinator, he knows what he does, what he's good at, what he wants to do. He knows that we know that, and there's just mind games, I guess, going back and forth of what they could possibly do. But you trust what you see. You put a good plan in place, which I think we've had a great start on, and we're going to go play and adjust in game if we need to. So, it's always kind of a little bit of that back and forth, and then especially when they got a lot of new players, it's not the same guys on tape that you're watching. So, it's the scheme, but you start looking at some different tells from certain players, and you're like, oh, this guy's it's not going to be this guy that I'm playing against. So there's certain things that you just have to. It's just part of it. Everyone's doing it.
All right, not to be redundant because people are always joining us here on the show, but last year Carolina was dead last in total yards allowed, dead last in run defense, dead last in total points allowed at 31.4, and dead last in quarterback pressures. They run primarily a 3-4. They're healthy on defense. Their offensive line, one of their backup corners, Damari Mathis, has a knee. He was limited. Ekwonu's the big deal. Ikem Ekwonu, appendix 11 days ago, their starting left tackle. I did an interview in Carolina, and they said that they did not believe that he would be ready to go. Okay, that was a Wednesday afternoon opinion. Their left guard, Damon Lewis, limited with a shoulder, and their starting right guard, Robert Hunt, with a foot, was limited. For the Jags, it's exactly what you expected. Buster didn't practice today. Wyatt Milam didn't practice today, an ankle and knee respectively. Cole Van Landen with his shoulder was limited. 43-76. Ballou, what's your take on Ventrell or Lloyd? Everyone says he's gone, but he's the leading tackler from this draft class, and I think has some versatility as a pass rusher. Who do you see starting? I think both veterans are going to go. I think you're going to see Lloyd next to Oloakon, and I think you're going to see ETN get the first at bat. I do. I don't know this. And frankly, I don't think Liam Cohen or anyone else has said it, okay? And even though leaks help me in what I do, I also think it's kind of refreshing that things are said, but several things are not said. This feels Coughlin-esque, that there's been fear. I don't know if fear is the right word, but last year, everything leaked. Oh, my God. You knew everything. You knew immediately why they moved Roy Robertson Harris. And, you just, this year, they're really, really quiet. And I do. I think that has been a demand that you will not leak. in this organization if you want to remain in this organization. And you know what? That's a cool thing if you're a Jaguars fan. You don't need any of that extra information out there if you're trying to win football games. With that said, my gut feeling tells me it's ETN and it's Lloyd. Here's the problem with Lloyd, and I love him as a human being. He's a two-down linebacker. You're going to pay that guy the going rate for someone who this organization has used as a run defender. Now, when they put him in coverage, and this organization has, I mean, this is his third different defensive coordinator in 4 years, he can't cover. That is a liability for him. And there's not, I had this conversation with Adam Kaplan over the summer. There's not a lot of great coverage linebackers. It's very hard to do. He's just very poor at it. How much better is Ventrell Miller? As I say often, I would love for the base defense to include Ventrell Miller. And they're going to go with Dennis Gardeck as the Sam, and they like him very much. I just think you can use these guys differently. I love the idea of a pass rush with Devin Lloyd. And we saw blitzes during the preseason from Lloyd and from Miller. But for 3 years, we've been talking about sending Devin Lloyd to the quarterback, and it hasn't happened. I would say right now that I would put it at 100% that ETN does not return next year just because that position is not respected. Okay, you get wear on the tires, and then you go for someone else. I'd say 85, 90% for Lloyd that he does not return. I just think he's going to outprice what this organization is trying to do. I think they're looking at Ventrell Miller and Jack Kaiser as their future linebackers, and we'll see what they do with the contract when it comes to Foye Oluokun. 36-14 Blue, not to short the Panthers, but the Jags need to use this as a starter scrimmage. See what works and what doesn't before we play 4 of the top 10 teams in the league. I understand where you're going with this, but I'm going to disagree based on this. They have to win this game for the sanity of the city. This fan base is going to go absolutely nuts if they lose this game. You play for the fans, right? They don't play for the fans. They play for themselves, right? I mean, you got a roster that's half new. Half this roster was on another team a year ago. Those who stay are the fans. They see the turnover. They have to come out and win this football game on Sunday. And I've said it several times over the summer, and it's true. There's never a must-win in Week 1 in the NFL. Heck, there's not even a must-win in Week 1 in college football anymore. As we just said, Notre Dame, Clemson, Alabama, Texas, they're all still in the thick of it. And they just got to turn around and win games. So if Jacksonville loses, in the Miller Electric Center, it's on to Cincinnati. It's on to Houston. It's on to San Francisco. It's on to your next opponents. And you turn the page and it's another game. But for the well-being of this city, okay, man, you've got to knock off Carolina. You've got to start with a W. I mean, especially after what they did to you last year in September, dropping an 0-4 on you. Just totally deflating the balloon before you even had a chance to get invested, right? Before you even had a chance to really check in and say, all right, what's this? The Jaguars just laughed at you. So it sounds foolish, but I believe it. I really do. For like one of the first times ever, I believe that this game, I think, means more to the fan base than it actually does to the club, than it actually does to the team. This team, either way, whether they win or lose to Carolina, they're going to wipe that off. And after their off day on Tuesday, they're going to come back a week from Wednesday, and they're going to be focused on going to Cincinnati and winning a game. But where's your head going to be? when you wake up Monday morning, if they drop one to Carolina, think about how elated Florida State and Miami fans were in this state. Getting up on Monday, I guess Tuesday, because that game, well, it was Monday, right? It was a Sunday night game. Saturday and Sunday. How great was that? How did that wrap up your Labor Day? How great was that to start your week? Knocking off a top opponent. If Jacksonville loses, man, that is my, it's not a fear. I'll deal with it either way. I'll be here either way. I'll try to talk you through it. You know? Fall into my DMs. I'll recommend certain things for you to get by, but I'm tired of doing that. I want you people to be happy. I mean, at least be happy for week one. Now, I'm not telling you this team's going to go 17-0. I'm not telling you this team's going deep into the playoffs. What I'm asking is for you and your sanity, win week one. Beat Carolina at home. Start off the year victorious. Put smiles on your face. I want to see you slapping backs and kissing babies and giving raises to your employee. I mean, I want to see it all. That's what I want. And then you got a very tough matchup going into Cincinnati. Very difficult game. I don't know if I've ever said this before about how a game actually means more to its fans than it actually does the team. I admit it's almost foolish, but I also believe it. Much more from you coming up. We're with you tonight till 8.
New coaches.
The future. That's truly what's exciting.
New players.
I bring the juice every day.
New season.
We've done some great things this offseason.
This is where the dream begins. And Duval is downright ready.
Time to go.
Now, it's for real. Jaguars, Panthers. Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jaguars. 1010XL.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Hey, it's Lauren Brooks. Looking and feeling great isn't just for women. Hello Smooth Med Spa has something for everyone. Laser hair removal, wrinkle smoothing, skincare, and more. With over 400 plus 5-star reviews and over a decade in business, they know their stuff. Book now at hellosmooth.com.
Jacksonville, it's football season, and Duck Duck Rooter is proud to be on your home team. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we tackle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning problems with championship-level service. Keep an eye out for our custom Jaguar wrap plumbing vans rolling around town. They're hard to miss and always ready for the next play at your home or business. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, trust Duck Duck Rooter to keep you in the game. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hi, I'm John Haney from Clearwater Gutters and Drainage. After heavy rains, the problems are obvious. Mulch blown out of your beds, water standing around your foundation, and that fancy new crater back behind your bushes. Let Clearwater Seamless Gutters help you solve the problem spots.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters.
And drainage, too.
Find out more at clearwaterjacks.com.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Couple of programming notes. Tomorrow, Tim Brando at 7. Going to push him back a little bit because he's getting out of the airport. We're going to have a report coming from Charlotte tomorrow at 6:17 with Kyle Bailey, WFNZ, and Charlotte. He's been covering the Panthers for quite some time, so we'll get their vibe. Rafael Esparza tomorrow night, too. We'll check the money. That'll be late out of Las Vegas. Now, during high school football season, on 4 to 6 on Friday, okay? That is on 1010 only. And I love 6 to 8. I don't want to go anywhere outside of 6 to 8. I love it, but we totally respect high school football. So for the next couple of months, I'll be on 4 to 6 p.m., which also means I can dig my elbows into the bar at 7 p.m. at the Blue Crab House, which right now, on Wednesday, $1 oysters. Wow. That's good tonight till 9 o'clock. So right off of San Jose, it's there on Julington Creek Road. 2835, Ballou, if Genty was here instead of Hunter, how would things be different at running back this year? All right, well, Tootin wouldn't be here. I think they still would have grabbed Allen in the 7th round, Allen Jr. They would have moved one. They would have tried to move one. Tank Bigsby, ETN, where would they have gotten any value? Probably with Tank. He's younger, and he costs a heck of a lot less. The salary for ETN is over $6 million. So that's one that we will never get an answer to. 0253. Ballou, my son is bringing 3 of his rowdy friends to the game on Sunday. I'm the designated driver. Let's go. Well, congratulations. Good for you. And glad you get to spend time with your son and his friends, but that's a good dad to be the designated driver. All right, 3217 Ballou actually calls me truth teller. I hear you talk all the negative stats about the Panthers. You don't think the Panther fans don't think the same about the Jags? Last year, the Jags were pathetic. Absolutely, they're talking about that. There's no doubt. You're going to see I think you're going to see most of the Carolina media pick the Panthers to win the game. I mean, they're looking at it much like the way that Jacksonville is. And that's what's great about the league, right? The lines opened, Philly Godfather told us, and the line opened at 2.5. It's now 3.5. It's less than one possession. It's basically a field goal. So what does that mean? It could go one play or it could go another. And, depending on that, that's how this matchup is going to end up. 0494, Ballou, there are no excuses for Trevor. They are reasons. Also, the season hasn't started yet, so we don't know how the offensive line is going to shake out or how the play calling is going to be. I'm still not sold on the offensive line. Well, you're spot on when it comes to the offensive line. That is a huge area of concern, and I do. I want to believe that it's going to be much better this year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But, we don't know the answer to that. And, I hope we get some sort of a feeling as to what actually does happen. Wouldn't you love to see a game where, what do they average? Right around 100 yards a game last year. It might have been a smidge below 100 yards last year. How cool would it be if they ran for 135, 140 yards? If you do that, you're going to win the time of possession. If you do that, you're going to be able to open things up when it comes to passing the football. 0406 Ballou, Equano sucks. A lot of people were really surprised they pick up his fifth-year option. We remember he was a top pick. We certainly remember going over him before the draft. He was a guy that was being mentioned around here. They did pick up his fifth-year option. Right now it's in doubt. An appendectomy 11 days ago on the side today. Officially, though, on the injury report, he did not practice. 83-34 Blue. I see the Jags starting 4-0. Man, that would be something. That would be absolutely outstanding to be around here and see that take place. That would be great. 4997 says, Ballou, do you like East Texas A&M since you don't like Norvell? I like Florida State. I think they get it done at high noon against East Texas A&M. And it's not that I don't like Norvell. I question him as a coach. And he fed me some crow a couple of days ago, which I gladly ate and washed down with ice cold beers. Listen, it's not about liking or disliking. I like you, 4997. I like the fact that you listen to the show and you take time out routinely to reach me. It's never about liking and disliking. It's about doing the job. And he made me eat my words last week. And I hope he makes me eat my words every week. If he does, then I will turn my stance on Mike Norvell to the point where I will say he's a much better CEO and a coach who oversees the entire program than he is a guy focused on calling plays, whether he called every play or Alex Atkins called plays or however that went. Norvell never really tells you what is going on. Florida State got hit with a couple of injuries, too. I don't know if will have any effect on this game, but Roydell Williams, who picked up that huge fourth and 1 from the 36, is going to miss a couple of weeks. And also the transfer from UCF, tight end Randy Pittman, is going to miss some time now as well for Florida State. So that was announced a little bit earlier today. Norvell's not going to tell you what the injury was. I thought we were going to get injury reports now in the ACC.
The ACC, I know the SEC, they don't come out till like week 3 for whatever reason.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if that's a first conference kind of thing, but
maybe it is only conference games. I don't know. Can you check for me? Is East Texas A&M in the Atlantic Coast Conference? Because they've added so many teams that the other day, I don't know what I was doing. It was like Cal was on. Pac-12 After Dark rocked on Saturday night, man. You had like Arizona State, Northern Arizona. Arizona was in action. I think it was against Hawaii. You had Washington State was on. I was watching. Then Cal's on. And I'm thinking, this is great. This is like old school Pac-12. Obviously, all those teams are gone, but I honestly had forgotten
Yeah, ACC.
That California was in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Yeah, the ACC to release availability reports before conference games. So there you go.
Okay. Well, then you learn something new every day. There you go. That's cool. I mean, injury reports now in college football. I mean, everything's about gambling. If you think these injury reports are to be fair to both teams, come on. They're about gambling. It's a multi-billion-dollar investment, and when you bring fantasy into it as well, fantasy football, I mean, you got to be kidding me. That's what it's there for. There's no other reason. All right, final thoughts coming up. Hacker Nation going to join you at 8. Again, tomorrow night, a lot of fun expected, 6 to 8, and on Friday, 4 to 6 during high school football season on 1010 only.
Hey, Hicken here. Celebrate the month of September with our friends at Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139 plus the 4th room free. Take $100 off your air duct cleaning as well. Book online at ZerosJacksonville.com and take advantage of these huge savings.
Celebrate every score for Duval's favorite home team this season at One Night Taco Stand. Enjoy $3.99 margaritas, and when the home team scores, free tequila shots. Dine in only during the game. Don't miss Taco Tuesday, daily lunch specials, and Top Shelf Friday, Mandarin, Orange Park, and Southside at Bay Meadows. One Night Taco Stand, where tacos, tequila, and touchdowns come together.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
No more climbing ladders or tree shopping or untangling lights. Nope, Kuhn Flowers will take care of all of this for you this fall when you schedule your holiday home decorating team. This is ET with 1010XL, and now is a good time to call Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all. They'll do it this fall.
Hey, it's Joe C. Summer in Jacksonville means the sun is hot, the grills are fired up, and your water heater probably full of sludge.
Nah, not mine.
Think, when was the last time you flushed your water heater out? It's okay, you could say it.
Probably never.
Flushing a water heater each year improves its efficiency and extends its lifespan.
They sure don't make them like they used to.
So call Roland Reese Plumbing for a routine water heater flush out and any other plumbing needs. 260-7059 or at plumberandjacks.com. Roland Reese Plumbing.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's the Mangler.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite Roofing Contractor, lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjacks.com.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
Your family can enjoy a special day of fun with games, food, and live music while remembering the sacrifices of our nation's prisoners of war at the National POW MIA Recognition Day, September 20th. Learn more at POWMIAmemorial.org.
Tee off for a cause. Join Junior Achievement of North Florida for the Golf Classic, September 29th at San Jose Country Club. Help support financial literacy for local students. Find out how at janfl.org.
This is Tom Coughlin, and September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Help the J Fund raise awareness to help our neighbors and community members tackling this devastating disease.
Find out how you can be part of the cure for blood cancer at the Light the Night Walk at VyStar Ballpark, November 22nd.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
It's got to ask an interesting question here. 9722 said, Ballou, straight up, if you were just a regular Joe, which I am, would you buy season tickets this year? Just wondering. Yes, I would. Absolutely. I think this is going to be a very exciting season. I think you're going to see a team that is going to surprise you as far as its physicality, and you're going to be blown away by speed. I also want to say they're going to be a better coach team. They still have massive concerns, primarily running the ball and defending the run. And, we'll see. But I think it's going to be a totally different brand of football. All right, the big news today, injury report, our first of the year. Buster Brown, an ankle, did not practice. Wyatt Milam, a knee, did not practice. Cole Van Lannon with his shoulder, limited today. 3 guys on the injury report for Carolina on that offensive line. Ekwonu is the big one, okay? 11 days now it's been since he had an appendectomy. I did an interview in Carolina a little bit earlier today where they seem to think that he was not going to go. We'll have much more on that coming up on Thursday.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Packer Nation, we have one more night. Then tomorrow it is Dallas and Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm fired up for the season, no doubt about that. You mentioned the injury report. Ekwonu, it was interesting. I was talking to Mike Kay last night up in Charlotte with the Observer. He was awful here in 2023. I think he was a rookie where Hines Allen just kind of feasted on him in week 16. So at least Mike was saying it doesn't matter if it's Ekwonu or one of the backups. They don't like their chances there. To me, the big one is Robert Hunt of Carolina. That's the $100 million guard. He left practice, was it today or yesterday, with a foot.
Right.
He's left practice today. I mean, it happened literally today. So they put him back out there. I was listening to Dave Canales' press conference up in Charlotte. He did something to the foot. They put him back out there for a couple of plays. Then they yanked him out and sat him out the rest of practice. That's one to follow because if they're without Hunt, that hurts their running game big time.
Yeah, they do return their entire offensive line. They were decent running the ball a year ago. Obviously, they were behind and were forced to move the ball in the air. But Ekwonu, they still picked up his 5th-year option.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, I'm an outside perspective on Carolina. Yeah. I remember him because I know we talked about Jacksonville maybe drafting him 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently in 2023, Hines Allen ate him for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, sure, you want your starting left tackle, but I don't know how big of a loss it would be for Carolina because he didn't block Hines Allen when he started in 2023 here, apparently.
All right, the Jaguars, we move one day closer. What's the latest? What do you believe?
Yeah, I was in the locker room earlier today. It's a confident team. There's no doubt about that. I did several one-on-ones. We'll play some tonight, some tomorrow. You'll hear from Jordan Lewis tonight. Boy, I really like Jordan Lewis. Really, really like Jordan Lewis. The more I talk to him, the more I watch him play, the more I understand why Jacksonville signed him first. He was the first guy they signed in free agency. Also, DeJuan Smoot is going to join me tonight from the Jaguar locker room. But I just think the overwhelming thought I had today was confidence. It is a confident football team heading into Sunday against Carolina.
No, absolutely. Have a great show, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Appreciate it, Rick.
All right, I'm going to head over there tomorrow as well and get an opportunity to get to the Miller Electric Center and talk with some members of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Plenty of new ones over there, no doubt about that. That's going to do it for us. Thank you to the Philly Godfather. Thank you to John Oehser. Again, tomorrow night, Tim Brando at 7. We're going to have a live report from Carolina, from Charlotte at 6:17. And then we'll check the money in Las Vegas tomorrow night with Rafael Esparza. Friday show. High school football is here. Therefore, I will be on 4 until 6 on Friday on 10:10. So, tomorrow night first, and we'll do that on Friday. For Dylan Denmark, I'm Rick Ballou. Have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.